Kevin Durant in a layup line gets hurt out for the regular season. I loved the move. You pushed back on it, and many did, saying Chris Paul and KD are hurt a lot. So now, do you think Phoenix today looks at this and goes, what did we get ourselves into?
Especially with all the first-round picks that they gave up, they have to. And I just, look, I understand why they did it. It's hard to say no when a Kevin Durant comes up and he wants to play for you. But what we've seen, if we're talking about championship teams, is this idea that you need to have this nucleus of 3 stars in order to play for a title has really gone by the boards. It's a matter of, do you have depth and versatility? If you look at the championship teams that have won of late, yes, they have stars. They have a requisite number of stars, but they're not top heavy. They're deep. And what the Suns gave up in order to get Kevin Durant was 3 players who were instrumental in getting 64 wins last year and going to the championship a year ago. So if you have Kevin Durant and he's available, then you might be able to compensate for that. But I still maintain that the Phoenix Suns go as far as Chris Paul goes.
And he's not the same player as 2 years ago.
Not even close. And the numbers look good. The efficiency looks good. But he's really your floor general, your orchestrator. Kevin Durant is a hired gun. Devin Booker, in many ways, is a hired gun. You need somebody who puts all the pieces together, and that's Chris Paul.
So the Warriors-Bucks Saturday night, very much a playoff feel. Steph was remarkable. They're doing this without Wiggins.
Yep.
Apparently the team knows what's going on. Nobody else does.
Yeah.
Okay, is he coming back? He's our most athletic wing defender.
I wouldn't count on it.
For the year?
I would not count on it.
Wow.
It's a family issue. They're being very sensitive about it. And I don't know the details, but it is a personal issue, and they are not convinced by any stretch that he's going to make it back.
I don't think they can win without him.
No, and I'm not. They certainly can't win without him. I'm not even convinced that they can win with him. I just don't believe that they have enough. But certainly he and Gary Payton, if they were available, could cure a lot of their ills. And the way Steph Curry is playing, it really is a phenomenal thing. I've never seen a player who can infuse a team, maybe with Derrick Rose with the Chicago Bulls, but a team that is really not that good, a supporting cast that is really not that good, and looks at that guy and says, if that guy is on, we have a chance.
Yeah.
And that's what Steph Curry has done this year.
Yeah, and he did it against Drew Holiday, who's one of the absolute top 5 defenders in the league.
And one of the most underrated, forget defensive players. To me, he's one of the best point guards, top 3 point guard in the league right now, arguably playing the best, because with Giannis out, he's not just doing it defensively. Offensively, he's making big shot after big shot. He's demonstrating he can do it at that end.
Yeah, Drew's been good for a long time. So, I was saying earlier, no Jalen Brunson. You're at home. It's desperate. And Julius Randle eats you alive. The Lakers have 14 games left. They get very lucky, though. Rockets, OKC, Suns twice, a lot of nonsense. Bulls twice, Orlando. They could certainly go on a run. But what's interesting to me, the standards, I mean, LeBron's not getting younger and AD's not getting healthier. The standard for the Lakers now is excitement over a chance to get to the playoffs as like the last seed. It's such a boring, usually, for Alabama, the minute they're like, oh, we're winning 7 games, that's not our standard. The Lakers are in that class of top 6 or 7 franchises in North America.
Yeah.
The idea they would run this back, Kevin Garnett is saying, this injury to LeBron, not quite as serious. They're trying to gauge if Anthony Davis can lead them. As if the book on AD's not written. I know exactly what he is.
I agree.
Don't you think it's a weird... I mean, the idea they would run this back to me is just bewildering.
Yes, I agree. I mean, short of finding someone who's going to be the leader of your team in his prime, not LeBron James, because honestly, I'll be interested to see if and when he gets back, how they're able to play. But Anthony Davis is a tremendously talented player.
Yeah.
He shows you that night after night.
He'll go on 3 or 4 game stretches where it's like he's a little Giannis, both ends of the floor.
But name me the game where your team is struggling and he puts the team on his back and turns the tide.
Well, last night was that night.
Yes, when the team is rolling in a certain direction, he's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
If you're looking for him to set the pace and take you there, that's never happened.
Yeah, it's not his thing.
It's honestly never happened. It didn't happen in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Why you would think it's going to happen with the Lakers now?
Well,
I'm with you.
We've said before, I think he's the best 2 in the league.
I think on a great team, on a championship caliber team,
He's a 2.
he's probably a 3.
Wow. Because of his availability?
And availability and like my 2 sometimes has to pick me up and be the guy. And I don't want to. Let me take that back because I don't want to be that disparaging. But when I saw it, like in New Orleans, you had I think Drew Holiday and Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
They led that team when they made the playoffs when OKC fell down. And if not mistaken, went to the second round.
Well, Drew Holiday is exactly what you're explaining.
Yes.
Drew Holiday is your classic 2. You can't depend on him.
You don't want him every night. He can't be your 1.
But if you have an 8-game stretch when Giannis is out, he'll help you in 6.
He can fill in that. And AD does at times, but again, it's still like right now, D'Angelo Russell by default is probably their floor leader. And we've seen how that goes. So but I'm not with you in terms of, I think it's fascinating where the Lakers are. Yes, they're not playing for championships yet. They're not playing what their pedigree as a franchise normally demands. But I'm fascinated by this bouillabaisse of where LeBron James is in his career, what Anthony Davis is, like all the different pieces that have been mixed together. And then in the background, Jeannie Buss looking over her shoulder going, Steve Ballmer has billions to outspend me on. Can I maintain that the Lakers are the team to follow in Los Angeles?
The Eastern Conference seems so set to me. Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland probably doesn't have the age or experience to get out of there. Boston does, Philly does. Harden has sort of reinvented himself as he's a better distributor now. He did it in Brooklyn, by the way, as last year.
Sure did.
So, a lot of these players, the Kyries and Westbrook, they are what they are. Harden, to his credit, has kind of tweaked his game.
Yep.
Do you buy Philadelphia? 33 a night from Embiid.
Yeah.
Harden leads the league in assists. Doc Rivers situationally sometimes frustrates NBA followers.
Yep.
Do you buy him?
As the potentially the best team in the Eastern Conference? Coming out of the Eastern Conference.
I mean, if you have the best scorer in the league and the best distributor and a veteran championship-winning coach, you should be. They're hot. They're red hot since early December.
Goes back to what I said, though. Championship teams are built on depth and versatility. They're a top-heavy team. Tyrese Maxey's having a great year. He's the 3rd best player.
He's a good player.
Can you count? 1, can you count on anybody else? And 2, the endurance and durability of Joel Embiid and James Harden is always going to be in question because you're going to ride them and you're going to ride them hard. And when you get into 7-game series and now you're getting to the second round, now you're getting the conference finals, can they continue to deliver? They historically have not. So much like Anthony Davis, I love how themes just emerge on this show. It's you're reading a novel and then you just realize there's all these subplots
We're
that
like
kind of come
everything
together.
Everywhere all at once, like the Oscar-winning movie. We give you a lot of different angles.
There you go. And so it's kind of the same. It's the same thing as Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Like you're telling me, is this going to be the time for James Harden and Joel Embiid? I don't know. They've as far as playoff players, they kind of shown us who they are. Unless something dramatically happens, I just don't expect anything different.
Did you watch the Oscar? I thought Kimmel was good last night. Did you watch the Oscars?
Not a minute.
What are the ratings on the Oscars? I thought it was the best Oscars, and I didn't watch any of the films yet.
I have not either. I've been busy prepping now that I'm down in L.A., prepping for your show.
Yeah.
Because as J-Mac knows, like, I get a whole list of things we're going to
know.
talk about, and then generally we don't talk about any of them. We go completely. We go off-roading.
I'm making dinner for Bucher at the house tonight.
See, and he said it's going to be salmon. I'm expecting we'll have like beef medallions or something. We'll just completely
I'm gonna
hard
cook
left
You're
turn.
cooking?
Yeah, he's bringing cigars. We're going to have salmon, little couscous, little broccoli, and cigars.
You should just have him. So when we were moving out here, him and his wife took my wife and I out to dinner.
Yeah.
And to kind of seal the deal, we're like, oh my gosh, we got to move out here.
Yeah.
You got to take him, go to a restaurant. You
We-
gotta-
I did.
No. Trust me. He does all right there. Yeah.
You're a good cook.
This is special. No, actually getting invited to the
Grotto.
Cowherd domicile.
The mansion I have not been to. Yes, I've heard.
I can't wait.
Famous people right around the corner.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dustin Hoffman. He's my youngest neighbor. I live in a very, very old neighborhood. Wow. A lot of old Hollywood legends. All right, Bukes. Good seeing you, buddy.
Yeah. See you later.